The air hung heavy with the scent of antiseptic and simmering anxiety. Incheon International Airport, usually a vibrant tapestry of hurried footsteps and excited chatter, felt subdued, muffled under a blanket of thick fog that clung to the sprawling complex like a shroud. Fluorescent lights, harsh and unforgiving, cast a sterile glow on the polished floors, reflecting in the weary eyes of the travelers milling about. The usual cacophony of announcements, baggage claims, and hurried conversations was muted, replaced by a low hum of apprehension. Each delayed flight announcement, a robotic voice cutting through the hushed tension, elicited a collective sigh, a ripple of disappointment spreading through the waiting crowds. Kim Seokjin, or Jin as the world knew him, stood apart from the throng. His usual radiant smile, the one that could light up stadiums, was absent, replaced by a furrow in his brow that deepened with each passing minute. He wasn't dressed in the flamboyant attire he was accustomed to. Instead, he wore a simple, charcoal gray sweater, comfortable jeans, and a worn leather jacket, the kind that spoke of countless journeys and untold stories. His usually meticulously styled hair was slightly tousled, a testament to the hours of restless waiting. He wasn't here for a glamorous photo shoot or a high-profile event. He was here for his grandmother, Halmiani, who was scheduled for a crucial heart surgery in the United States. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him, heavy and suffocating. His grandmother, a woman of fierce independence and unwavering spirit, despite her age, had entrusted him with her well-being, and the thought of anything going wrong sent a chill down his spine. The fog outside mirrored the turmoil within him. He could almost taste the dampness in the air, feel the chill seeping into his bones. The rhythmic ticking of the airport clock seemed to amplify the relentless march of time, each second a reminder of the precious minutes slipping away. He checked his phone repeatedly, the bright screen a stark contrast to the dimness of the airport terminal. Each refresh of the flight status brought a fresh wave of disappointment, a tightening in his chest. The sterile scent of the airport, the low murmur of worried conversations, the distant rumble of baggage carts. All these sensory details amplified his anxiety, creating a suffocating atmosphere of uncertainty. He closed his eyes, trying to conjure the image of his grandmother's warm smile, her comforting presence, but even that felt distant, obscured by the fog of his worry. He felt a pang of guilt, a familiar ache in his heart. He wished he could be stronger, more capable, more in control. He wished he could shield her from this, from the uncertainty, from the fear that he wandered away from the crowded gate, seeking a quieter corner, a refuge from the relentless pressure. The rhythmic thump of his own heartbeat echoed in his ears, a frantic drumbeat against the backdrop of the airport's subdued hum. He felt a desperate need for solace, for a moment of peace amidst the storm, that he found himself drawn to a small, almost hidden chapel tucked away in a quiet corner of the airport, a sanctuary of calm amidst the chaos. The soft glow of votive candles cast dancing shadows on the aged wooden pews, creating an atmosphere of hushed reverence. The air was thick with the scent of incense, a comforting aroma that soothed his frayed nerves. He sank into a pew, the cool would a welcome contrast to the clammy sweat on his palms. He closed his eyes, seeking a moment of respite, a chance to gather his strength. Then, he heard it, a soft sob, barely audible above the low hum of the airport. He opened his eyes, his gaze drawn to an elderly woman sitting a few pews away. She was hunched over, her shoulders shaking with silent grief, clutching a worn photograph to her chest. Her clothes were simple, almost threadbare, her hands gnarled and weathered, bearing the silent testimony of a life lived fully, a life marked by hardship and resilience. Her face, etched with the lines of time and worry, was a roadmap of emotions, sadness, fear, and a deep, underlying weariness that he approached cautiously, his heart aching with empathy. He knelt beside her, offering a gentle smile, a silent gesture of understanding. She looked up, her eyes red and swollen, her gaze filled with a mixture of surprise and apprehension. She introduced herself as Mrs. Park, her voice raspy and weak, barely a whisper. She explained that she was a war veteran, returning home after a long visit with her family. Her flight had been delayed, then canceled, leaving her stranded and alone, a chilling prospect for a woman of her age and condition. She spoke of her years of service, her unwavering loyalty to her country, her sacrifices, and the deep-seated loneliness that had become her constant companion. Her voice cracked with emotion as she described the joy of seeing her family, the bittersweet pain of parting, and the crushing weight of uncertainty that now enveloped her. Jean listened intently, his heart resonating with her pain. He didn't offer platitudes or empty reassurances. Instead, he listened, truly listened, allowing her to pour out her heart without judgment. He shared his own anxieties, his worries about his grandmother, his vulnerability laid bare in the quiet sanctuary of the chapel. He spoke of his own family, his own struggles, his own moments of doubt and fear. In that shared vulnerability, a bond formed, a connection forged in the crucible of shared experience. The soft glow of the candles, the hushed reverence of the space, the scent of incense. All these sensory details created a sacred space for their shared emotions, a space where their stories intertwined, their hearts connected. The rhythmic murmur of prayers seemed to weave a tapestry of comfort and understanding around them, a silent testament to the enduring power of human connection. The hours melted away as they talked, their conversation a gentle ebb and flow of shared experiences, unspoken empathy, and a growing sense of mutual respect. The initial apprehension gave way to a quiet understanding, a shared humanity that transcended their differences in age, background, and circumstance. The sterile scent of the airport seemed to fade, replaced by the comforting aroma of incense and the quiet warmth of human connection. The weight of Jin's own anxieties seemed to lessen, replaced by a sense of purpose, a renewed sense of hope. He had found solace in helping another, a testament to the healing power of empathy and compassion. The morning light, filtered through the airport's vast windows, cast a pale, ethereal glow on the scene. The fog that had shrouded the airport the previous day had finally lifted, revealing a breathtaking panorama of the city awakening. Yet, the air still held a trace of the previous day's tension, a lingering sense of uncertainty that clung to the bustling crowds. The rhythmic announcements of departing flights echoed through the terminal, a constant reminder of the journeys about to begin, the lives about to intersect. Jean, his heart lighter than it had been in days, prepared to board his flight to the United States. His grandmother's well-being remained his primary concern, but the weight of his anxiety had lessened, replaced by a newfound sense of purpose. The encounter with Mrs. Park had been a turning point, a revelation that had shifted his perspective, reminding him of the interconnectedness of human experience, the shared vulnerability that binds us all. As he made his way towards the gate, his eyes scanned the waiting area, searching for familiar faces amidst the sea of travelers. He spotted Mrs. Park sitting alone, her posture slumped, her face etched with a deeper despair than he had witnessed the previous day. Her eyes were red and swollen, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, her gaze fixed on the floor. The vibrant energy of the airport seemed to bypass her, leaving her isolated in her own silent grief. The bustling sounds of the terminal, the hurried footsteps, the announcements, all faded into the background as Jean focused on her, his heart aching with empathy. That he approached her cautiously, his steps measured, his demeanor gentle. He knelt beside her, his voice soft and reassuring. "Mrs. Park," he began, his voice laced with concern, "I saw you here. Is everything all right?" Her head snapped up, her eyes widening in surprise. She looked at him, a mixture of apprehension and gratitude in her gaze. "Oh, Mr. Kim," she whispered, her voice trembling, I don't know what to do. My connecting flight has been canceled. I'm stranded." Tears welled up in her eyes, threatening to spill over. She spoke of her fear, her loneliness, the daunting prospect of being alone in a foreign land, far from her family and support system. Her voice was filled with a raw vulnerability that tugged at Jin's heartstrings. Without hesitation, Jin offered his assistance. He spoke calmly, reassuringly, explaining that he would help her find alternative arrangements. He used his phone, his voice calm and confident, navigating the complexities of flight schedules and airport procedures. He contacted his manager, explaining the situation, requesting assistance in securing a seat for Mrs. Park on a later flight. He arranged for her accommodation and meals, ensuring that she would be comfortable and cared for until her departure. He didn't just offer help. He took charge, ensuring that she felt safe, protected, and cared for. The process wasn't without its challenges. There were delays, unexpected hurdles, moments of frustration. But Jin persevered, his determination fueled by his empathy for Mrs. Park, his desire to alleviate her suffering. He spoke to airport staff, airline representatives, and even security personnel, his calm demeanor and gentle persuasion winning over even the most skeptical individuals. His celebrity status, usually a source of attention and pressure, became a tool for good, a means to navigate the bureaucratic maze and secure the necessary assistance. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, a solution was found. Mrs. Park would be accommodated on a flight leaving later that evening. The relief that washed over her face was palpable, a wave of gratitude that touched Jin deeply. She thanked him profusely, her voice choked with emotion, her eyes shining with tears of relief. She expressed her gratitude, not just for his help, but for his kindness, his compassion, his willingness to go above and beyond. The bustling sounds of the airport faded into the background as they shared a moment of quiet connection, a shared understanding that transcended their differences in age, background, and circumstance. The flight to the United States was long, but it wasn't filled with the usual anxiety. The rhythmic hum of the airplane engines provided a soothing backdrop to Jin's reflections. He looked out the window, watching the clouds drift by, their ever-changing forms mirroring the shifting landscape of his own thoughts and feelings. The encounter with Mrs. Park had been a catalyst, a transformative experience that had reshaped his perspective, his understanding of himself. In his place in the world, he thought about his own life, his own struggles, his own moments of doubt and fear. He had always been known for his kindness and generosity, but this experience had deepened his understanding of empathy and compassion. He realized that his own worries, while significant, paled in comparison to the struggles faced by many others. His grandmother's surgery, once a source of overwhelming anxiety, now felt less daunting, less isolating. He had found a new perspective, a renewed sense of purpose that he thought about his fans, the millions of people who looked up to him, who admired his music, his talent, his charisma. He realized that his influence extended far beyond the stage, far beyond the realm of entertainment. He had the power to inspire, to motivate, to make a positive impact on the world. He had the power to amplify the voices of those who were often unheard, to shine a light on the struggles of those who were often overlooked. He thought about his own journey, his own path to success. He had worked hard, sacrificed much, endured countless challenges. But he had also been blessed with talent, opportunity, and unwavering support. He realized that his success wasn't just about his own achievements. It was about the collective effort, the shared journey, the unwavering support of his family, his friends, his team, and his fans. He felt a surge of gratitude, a deep appreciation for the blessings in his life. He realized that his purpose wasn't just to entertain. It was to inspire, to connect, to make a difference. He had found a new clarity, a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of his own potential. The rhythmic hum of the airplane engine seemed to echo the steady beat of his own heart, a steady rhythm of hope, purpose, and gratitude. The clouds outside seemed to part, revealing a clear blue sky, a symbol of the clarity that had dawned within him. He knew that his journey had just begun, a journey of purpose, compassion, and unwavering commitment to making a positive impact on the world. The memory of Mrs. Park's grateful smile, the quiet reverence of the airport chapel, became a constant reminder of the power of human connection and the profound impact of even the smallest act of kindness. This expanded version aims for a more profound exploration of Jin's emotional journey and the transformative power of his encounter with Mrs. Park. The increased word count allows for a more detailed portrayal of his internal struggles, his evolving perspective, and his newfound sense of purpose. Let me know if you have any further requests or modifications. The successful surgery on his grandmother, Halmiani, brought a wave of relief that washed over Jin, a profound sense of gratitude that permeated every aspect of his being. He had spent days by her bedside, his heart filled with a mixture of anxiety and hope. The sterile scent of the hospital, the rhythmic beeping of machines, the hushed whispers of nurses, all these sensory details had become a constant backdrop to his vigil. He had held her hand, offering words of comfort and encouragement, his own anxieties momentarily forgotten in the face of her vulnerability. Now, as he sat beside her, watching her sleep peacefully, a profound sense of peace settled over him. The weight of responsibility that had burdened him for so long had lifted, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. His return to Korea wasn't a return to normalcy. It was a return to a life transformed. The encounter with Mrs. Park, the subsequent act of kindness, and the profound reflection during his flight had irrevocably altered his perspective. He had realized that his influence extended far beyond the stage, far beyond the realm of entertainment. He had the power to inspire, to motivate, to make a positive impact on the world. He had the power to amplify the voices of those who were often unheard, to shine a light on the struggles of those who were often overlooked. His first act was a significant donation to a veteran support organization, a gesture inspired by his encounter with Mrs. Park. He didn't make a public announcement. He preferred to let his actions speak for themselves. He wanted his contribution to be a testament to his gratitude, a symbol of his commitment to making a difference. The quiet act of giving brought him a profound sense of satisfaction, a feeling that transcended the material value of his donation. It was a gesture of respect, a tribute to the sacrifices made by those who had served their country. Next, he launched a social media campaign, a carefully crafted initiative designed to raise awareness about the challenges faced by elderly people and veterans. He didn't use his celebrity status to promote himself. Instead, he used it to amplify the voices of others, to share their stories, to highlight their struggles. He collaborated with veterans organizations, sharing their resources, promoting their initiatives, and giving a platform to their voices. He used his platform not for self-promotion, but for social good, a testament to his evolving understanding of his role in the world. The campaign went viral, exceeding all expectations. His fans, known for their unwavering support and their commitment to social causes, responded with overwhelming enthusiasm. They shared his posts, donated to the organizations he promoted, and volunteered their time and resources. They organized fundraising events, created awareness campaigns, and spread the message of compassion and empathy. The initial response was a wave of support, a testament to the power of collective action, the potential for positive change when people come together for a common cause. The story of Jin's encounter at the airport spread like wildfire, inspiring countless acts of kindness and compassion. News outlets picked up the story, sharing it with a global audience. People from all walks of life were inspired by his actions, his empathy, his willingness to go above and beyond. They shared their own stories of kindness, their own acts of compassion, creating a ripple effect that extended far beyond the confines of the airport, far beyond the reach of social media. The initial feeling of anxiety and helplessness that had enveloped Jin at the airport had transformed into a powerful force for good. He had found a new clarity, a renewed sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of his own potential. The quiet hum of his own home felt different now, filled with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. He understood that true success wasn't just about fame and fortune. It was about making a positive impact on the world. The memory of Mrs. Park's grateful smile, the quiet reverence of the airport chapel, became a constant reminder of the power of human connection and the profound impact of even the smallest act of kindness. The story of Jean at the airport became a testament to the transformative power of empathy and the ripple effect of a single act of compassion. His journey had just begun, a journey of purpose, compassion, and unwavering commitment to making a positive impact on the world, one act of kindness at a time. The world, he realized, was full of opportunities to make a difference, and he was ready to embrace them all.